There's a playbook. It has been used so many times, in so many hearings, in so many press conferences, that most people in Washington can recite it from memory. Someone says something the left doesn't like, and the response is always the same. Racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, bigoted. The accusation lands. The room shifts. The person being accused scrambles to defend themselves. And suddenly the original argument, whatever it was, is buried under a debate about tone and intent and whether the person is a good enough human being to be taken seriously. The accusation is a strategy. It has nothing to do with the facts. It has everything to do with changing the subject. Rubio saw it coming, and he didn't scramble. Here is what happened. The exchange started with a simple, direct statement. If you are here on a visa, receiving protection and the opportunity that the United States extended to you, and you are out there publicly defending Hamas, a designated terrorist organization, then that is a problem. That is not a complicated position. It does not require a law degree or a foreign policy background to understand. You came here because this country offered you safety. Using that safety to advocate for a group that has conducted mass murder is a specific kind of ingratitude that most Americans, regardless of politics, recognize instantly. The response from Omar's side was immediate. Racist, bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic. The full list, delivered quickly, with the confidence of someone who has used it before and watched it work. And here is where the moment becomes significant, because Rubio didn't back up. He didn't qualify. He didn't add a disclaimer about how, of course, he respects all people and doesn't mean to imply anything negative about any community. He didn't do the thing that most politicians do when the accusation lands, which is to immediately start managing the accusation instead of answering it. He held the line. The accusation of racism has a specific function in American political discourse. It is not primarily a description. It is a weapon. Its purpose is not to accurately characterize someone's beliefs or motivations. Its purpose is to make the person being accused defend their character rather than their argument. Because once you're defending your character, you have already lost the argument. You have accepted the frame. You are no longer talking about Hamas or about what it means to advocate for a terrorist organization while living under protection of the country that organization has repeatedly attacked. You are talking about whether you are a racist. And that conversation is no good ending for the person being accused, because the accusation can always be repeated, escalated, and amplified regardless of what defense is offered. Rubio refused that frame entirely. His point was not complicated. It was not racist. It was a direct statement about a specific behavior, public support for a terrorist organization by someone who was in the United States because the United States chose to offer them refuge. Those are facts, not characterizations. Not dog whistles. Facts. And the attempt to reframe those facts as racism is itself to tell. Because when the only response to a factual argument is an accusation about the character of the person making it, that is not a rebuttal. That is a concession that the factual argument cannot be answered on its own terms. Watch what happens in the room when the accusation is made. The energy shifts. People who are listening to the argument start watching to see how the accused person responds. The focus moves off the substance and onto the dynamic. Will he apologize? Will he walk it back? Will he add the qualifications that signal he understands his place in this exchange? Rubio gave them none of that, and the room shifted again. Because when the accusation doesn't land, when the person being accused stands still and holds their position, the accusation loses its power. It doesn't disappear. It will be repeated. It will be amplified in certain media spaces. But in the room, in that moment, it failed to do what it was designed to do. That is what the clip shows. Not just an argument about immigration or terrorism or who belongs where. A demonstration that the playbook has a weakness. The weakness is someone who isn't afraid of it. The playbook only works if the target moves. If they don't move, if they hold the argument and refuse to accept the frame, the playbook is exposed for what it is. Not a rebuttal, a distraction. A last resort used when the facts can't be answered. Rubio didn't move, and that is what the left cannot afford to let stand.